What's that book you've been reading about?
It's about heroes who get to go on adventures, defeat the monsters, and save the day.
What's that book you've been reading about?
It's about heroes who get to go on adventures.
You can f with me if you wanted to. These expensive, these is red bottoms, these is bloody shoes. Hit the school, I can get them both. I don't want to choose, and I'm quick cutting off, so don't get comfortable. Look, I don't dance now, I make money move. Say I don't gotta dance, I make money move. If I see you now speak, that means I don't f with you. I'm a boss, you a worker. I make bloody move. Now she say she gon' do what a who. Let's find out and see. Cardi B, you know where I'm at, you know where I be. You in the club, just to party. I'm there, I get paid to be. I be in and out them things so much, I know they tired of me. Honestly, don't give a about who ain't fond of me. Drop 2 mixtapes in 6 months, what bitch working as hard as me. I don't bother with these hoes, don't let these hoes bother me. They see pictures, they say goals, I'm who they tryna be. I might just chill in some babe. I might just chill with your boo. I might just spill on your babe. My pussy feel like a lake. He wanna swim with his face. I'm like, okay. I let him get what he want. He buy me East Saint Laurent and the new whip. When it go back to the horse, I got the trunk in the front. I'm the hottest in the street. Know you probably heard of me. Got a bag and fix my teeth. Hope you hoes don't hit cheap. And I pay my mama bills. I ain't got no time to chill. Think these hoes be mad at me. They baby father wanna kill. If you wanted to, these expensive, these is red bottoms, these is bloody shoes. Hit the school, I can get them both. I don't want to choose, and I'm quick cutting.
Hello. How is everybody doing? Welcome. I am so excited to talk about Lovecraft Country like it ain't been, like 5 years. But that makes it even better. We can, look back and reminisce and maybe get into some things that we didn't notice when we first got into the show in the first place. But get on in here, hit that like button, leave a comment. Shout out to the people who supported us yesterday when we got into the watch along for this very first episode. But y'all know I'm not here by myself. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, super chat on all our platforms and show us some love. Bringing her out first, Nikki with the spice. Nikki, are you ready to get into this episode of Lovecraft?
Yes, I'm excited. I can't wait to talk about it. Like you said, noticing different things because I did watch it when it aired, but I cannot remember anything. So it really felt very fresh. It felt like watching it for the first time, and it was amazing.
It was. I had fun.
The only travesty was no Michael K. Williams in episode 1. Like, I'm ready for Michael K. Williams.
Ashley, with the sweet perspective, are you ready to get into the show? And how was it going back yesterday to watch it for the first time all over again?
I mean, I don't really remember this. I went over here in these Lovecraft Country streets and I don't remember nothing. I think I made it maybe through 2 or 3 episodes. But no, this was really, really good. And we did a lot of talking last night. And so it was so good. I actually went back today and rewatched episode 1 because I knew I had missed a lot of symbolism, a lot of things. This is a work of art. It really, really is. When you look at it and think about all of the attention to detail that she paid to make this a full, like, and robust story, yeah, it's a shame that this was canceled.
It was. And since we're on the topic of she, of course, I thought we should start with her before we ever got into the show. Because not everybody was on, the wagon of a Lovecraft Country, or maybe even know of Misha and the things that she's presented before. Of course, she's been involved with other shows like writing on Heroes and other things that we love. But her babies have been the Underground and Lovecraft Country so far, which have been impeccable. In my opinion, I love both of these shows. But as far as continuing on with new projects or giving any reason at all as to why this one was canceled so soon, it's given a toxic work environment, and we didn't want to continue on. Nikki, I'm going to come to you. What do you feel on? And we spoke on this a little bit during the watch along about her being kind of represented and put in a corner as toxic. but not just so toxic that it's just of your typical director, writer, genius as far as film. You're too toxic to the point that we would take this $1 billion beloved show that was hyper successful, just doing so well, and cancel it and not continue on with another season.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't know anything about Misha Green. I don't really hear much. You know how like there are certain people like a Stanley Kubrick who are
Yeah.
kind of infamous. Like they made people reshoot the same scene 1,000 times, and the lady was just going crazy. I really don't hear a lot of buzz when it comes to like exactly why these projects keep falling through. But I will say, honestly, though, I feel like as a Black woman, it's a real fine line the way you're perceived as being like hard to deal with or having an attitude or being difficult. Where with other people, it could be like someone who's like, Quentin Tarantino or Oliver Stone, where they would be seen as, oh, they have a vision and they're direct and with her, I can see it being you have to be very nice and very pleasant, or either people take it a certain way. I think Hollywood is a cesspool, and as long as she not doing no Harvey Weinstein stuff, let that lady cook, okay? Let her cook, let her yell at who she need to yell at, let her, slap some heads around metaphorically, because, I mean, this first episode, every nook and cranny, every detail, and I feel like I'm the type of viewer, I love a project that looks like there was a lot of care and attention to detail, and you can tell from the wardrobe, the scenery,
Absolutely.
the writing, like it really feels like there was care, thought into every inch of this. And I mean, I think her work speaks for itself. They need to just let that lady write her a blank check, let her cook. But I think she's brilliant. I really do. And like you said yesterday, it's not like she's one of these people who, have 30 years under their belt. She's fairly fresh and fairly new. And she's a visionary, if you ask me. And I don't care what she doing. If it ain't nothing crossing real lines, let that lady cook.
I'm glad that you spoke on the attention to detail and how she caters to the audience, especially what we're going to identify as Black people. Like, oh, is that James Baldwin? Oh, that's the Jackie Robinson reference. Or what I only caught yesterday was this reference to this picture from Gordon Parks. I was like, girl, I didn't see that last time. That's so, and that's just, a few things that I have here. But Ashley, I'm going to come to you because it wasn't like those were the only quorums with the show. A lot of people decided not to support or watch this show because they felt it was anti-Black, just filling the space with a phobic. The show was all of the phobics, and there was grotesque violence, especially the Lovecraft Country book lovers. They felt like it wasn't true to the novel, and she decided to heighten all the trauma and change the characters to really get into more of the tropey, anti-Black, distasteful things. But a few things were changed as far as Letty's arc, Montrose sexuality, Hippolyta's full autonomy that she maybe had in the book, George's lifespan, Ruby intelligence, if that's what you want to call it in the book. And of course, she added additional characters and some of the things and events that we'll get into later. I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen it, but we kind of lean into historical events that are part of more of the Black diaspora. None of these things were present in the book. So it's just like, why are you as a Black woman trying to heighten and get into Black horror and Black trauma? That's what they said, Ash. I'm just saying what they said.
I mean, that's what all creative people do. Like, I don't get the problem. Like, I've never been a purist as it relates to like source material, as long as you're
Yeah.
telling a compelling story. Like, we see it become problematic, I feel like, when it's a POC person, namely a Black person, that does something like that or enters into the space. We see it with Star Wars. We see it a lot in the fantasy genres. And so, no, I didn't find, again, I haven't seen the whole thing to speak of all of these phobias and all that stuff that they
Yeah.
got from it, but I don't get any anti-Blackness in this. Grotesque violence, this is what you horror people love. So, I mean, I don't see
You horror people.
thing. You know what I mean? And I think when I'm looking at it just from like an artist perspective, when I look at a story and they are amping up another source of violence or fear or trauma. I
Mhm.
just think it goes to show how traumatic and impactful real life events are. To me, it's a mechanism you use to really show how large the injustices were and how
Yeah.
deeply they were felt. Racism is horror. Like I don't there's nothing you can do really to even match it what they were doing at the time, not to get heavy and deep, but you're castrating people, you're hanging them from trees, you're sticking things in their mouths. Like there's nothing that she could create like in the fantasy world that's going to match that. So I can't get behind it. I haven't seen the full series yet. But to
Mhm.
me, this looks like a love letter to Black people in my mind. Like the way that she lights them, the way that they all have different personalities and are completely different characters who have other interests besides just being Black and struggling. Like I don't see that in this first episode. No, I'm serious. In that
No,
time,
absolutely, absolutely.
pigeonhole Black characters into being just monolithic. Oh, we just trying to get by. No, this baby is in her world of fantasy. Tick is over here reading sci-fi and trying to cope and find his father. Like, I mean, no, just no, not right now.
I just love that she added elements of H.P. Lovecraft. If you read any of the actual books, H.P. Lovecraft is like hella racist.
I was waiting for you
and
to speak on that.
and Misha was like, I'm gonna take this and take some of the themes and make it our own. Like it was kind of fun for her. She says so many people kind of fawn over these books, as they are, do that. But I'm going to take it and do it the way I want to and have these hints of H.P. Lovecraft and mix them with, things like racism and horror and make it my thing. It was just like her kind of taking autonomy over the racism that's like threaded through all of these books. So I was like, I'm here for it. I don't know. I don't know. I was outside. I was. But getting into this first episode here, baby, this first mini movie, because I can't even reference it as an episode, this was great. This was a really, really great start. I actually didn't remember it starting like this, but we get into H.P. Lovecraft, Korean War Dreams and Nightmares. And of course, we know that this is a dream sequence, but I thought it said a lot, and it's a really bold statement to start your series off this way and kind of tie it back into themes that are throughout the show, whether we have this red alien woman. If you've seen the show, then you know who she represents. I don't want to ruin it for anybody, especially getting into when later in the episode Tick tries to make that phone call and he just can't do it. Everything just tied back around perfectly. I didn't realize until going back to watch it recently how all of these subtle little narratives were here, just kind of giving us clues to what happened. Like if you were paying attention, you already knew, like, oh, he's back from the Korean War. He met, a little yang out there. So stuff went astray. Or just the themes of just how vibrant it was, or we get a reference later on with the Jackie Robinson in the bed. Everything was just perfect here. It was just really, really great timing. But Ashley, how did you feel about the opening here? And did you remember us starting off all vibrant with these H.P. Lovecraft monsters?
Yeah, I don't really remember this. I don't. And I remember, well, no, but when I was watching it last night, I kept thinking, I'm like, is he in a dream? I was like, is this where the horror starts? Like, is he really there? What's going on? And then we of course see him with the book reading it, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, but no, I don't remember hardly anything. But watching it last night, I'm like, okay, he's inserting himself into the novel, which I thought was really, really interesting because
Yeah.
even when he's explaining it, when they get kicked off the bus and he's walking with the lady down the road, he's like, yeah, I'm reading this book about monsters and Mars and all this stuff. And I'm thinking, okay, like this is definitely going to tie into this story. This is somehow going to be his monsters, whatever. This is going to be his narrative. I thought it was a perfect way to frame the start of the story because you're immediately sucked into whatever's happening there. You're like, okay, like, well, at least me, I'm clutching my pearls whenever I see monsters. And then we see this bloody red princess come out. And I'm like, all right, not art mirroring life, mirroring what we're going to see down the road. I was here for the opening.
I love it. It's absolutely subtle from here all the way to this phone call where he can't even, like, you made the phone call and you can't even utter any words, and it's like, well, you shouldn't have gone back. It's just real ominous. But between the opening and this phone call and, like you said, getting into this bus situation, he's running from something. He's running from something, himself, but he's also kind of escaping off into fantasy, into these books. And later on, when he gets back to the apartment, the home of Montrose, and you just see all these books, or just how engrossed he is in them, you could tell that he's been using them as fantasy and escapism from his reality for a really, really long time. And that's why he's so well versed. I was like, that's really, really good. But Nikki, how did you feel about this opening? And what did you think about just the choice to do this, as well as us really getting into fantasy, and how Tick feels like, which I feel like he was talking about himself when he says, people are like books, they're imperfect, but we still love them. It's like we just really get into some of the actions that he's done later on that he's probably regretting.
I feel like there's so much just threaded throughout this opening, even with the correlation of like books and people, but even more so than that, I kind of look at it as the way people are like upset that she didn't really stick to the source material. I personally always love to read. I don't like Lovecraft books, and it's because they're very problematic. But I feel like this is the way of kind of threading in, like, well, he's Black, he's really into these sci-fi books, he's really into certain things that really don't represent people who look like him very well, but he can still be engrossed in the story, and still, like, this guy, whoever it was in the book, I can't remember what, like, they're on a quest, an adventure, and that is going to mirror that with the story with Tick, because now he's on a quest and an adventure, and all of this fantasy that he kind of delves into, he's about to have his own real life adventure and fantasy. And even with the Jackie Robinson, and he has the bat and it's that monster world, Jackie Robinson had to face a lot of racism, he had to face his own monster. So I love how everything ties in, and I just think the mix of Lovecraft, of horror, of, as much as I hated the racism and the Black charm, like, it goes hand in hand. Nothing is more horrific than America's history. Nothing is more horrific than what Black people had to go through in this Jim Crow era that the show is set in. And I love the tie-in, especially when we get to, like I said, Jackie Robinson and that monster, when we're in the sundown town and we're literally facing this fear from these white cops, and then we have to face a fear from literal monsters. Like, I just think it all threads together very brilliantly, and I thought the show did really well establishing real background for the characters without losing any momentum. We get a lot on Tick.
We get a whole lot in this first episode.
On Tick, on
Leti,
Jurnee, Leti, on
everybody.
And like, it's done in such a way that you're not just like, oh, okay, we have to go through the proverbial like background for the characters, but it's done in a way that's very engrossing. It doesn't losing the momentum, it doesn't miss a beat. I think everything is threaded together so perfectly. And when they're in this bus situation and this bus shut down, and that white man looking at them like, I know y'all don't think y'all about to ride up over here, and him and that Black lady literally just like, they just know, okay, we walking.
Yeah, it's normal.
We walking. And then they're walking, and they're actually seem like they're just talking about the book, and they seem so, it's like in the midst of the horror and the monsters, we still have these books, these people, these imperfect people that we have to just love and navigate through this world. I think I love this first episode. I thought it was brilliant, and I love how everything ties together.
It was. The writing was fabulous. Like you said, we got a lot of backstory, even in just this little one bus moment where he's referencing the book, and he's talking about how much he loves Pulp Fiction, and I don't know if he was reading Prince of, I'm not sure what he was reading, but she said, well, the man in the book, he was a Confederate soldier. That's something that we can't erase. Like, he's a bad, this is a racist person. How would you ever forgive that? How can we enjoy this literature and still kind of get into just loving this book? And I love that reference about kind of forgiveness, or the sense of being a Confederate soldier and not doing great things while you were over there. Cause Tick wasn't great. Tick did some things that, weren't weren't great at all later on, that he just really wishes that he can, I'm not perfect, nobody is. Let's get into the books. I was here for it. It was just a subtle stuff. Or even him just saying, like, I went to the war to get away from my dad. Now I'm back here to seek him. Like, you went to the war. You went to fight a war to get away from your father. Says a whole lot, a whole lot. But getting into the father, I just got this here because we didn't actually see Montrose this episode. We just got, little tidbits. But what we did get was more than enough. Getting into this abuse, alcoholism, and just pure resentment. Him going into the house and just how traumatic it was for him. The holes in the wall where you can see like he was physically abused amongst other things in the home. It just seems so terrible. Going to the bar, he's known for being at the bar, being an alcoholic, being a recluse, or going missing when he doesn't have a drink in his hand, to where he can go missing for 2 weeks and nobody's the wiser until Tick receives this letter. But even with all of those things in that history with his father, he still actively comes here to look for him. Ashley, why did he want to look for this man, giving the history?
Because people love even terrible parents. Like at the end of the day, it's almost like what Nikki was talking about when they're getting off the bus. It's like you can be accustomed to being mistreated and you just still live your life as if nothing's wrong. Like they didn't take that moment to say, "Oh, this is wrong and an injustice." It became part of their normal life. And I feel like that's the same way he has this relationship with his father. It's like it's almost like being a creature of habit or just becoming accustomed to a thing, right? Like I know my dad, he is what he is. He was terrible, but I still need to make sure that he's okay because that's my role and my responsibility. And I think especially back then when people didn't really have autonomy or advocacy back then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A child was to be seen and not heard. You do what your parents tell you, you're kind of stuck. And later we'll see that interaction with his uncle where it's like, you didn't protect me. Like,
Oh, yeah.
but all the while, no, I'm still on this mission. Let me just make sure he's good. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
think that's what it boils down to. And I think children love even terrible parents, unfortunately.
Nikki, years of being over there in that Confederate, it was terrible. Korean War, fighting for my life. Didn't know I was going to make it back. Dad didn't write me one letter. This one comes and I'm headed there with the quickness. Not only that, but of course you have Uncle George point out, this don't sound like your dad. Something's off about this letter. He's like, no, I'm going to seek him out. What made him seek this man out, even though he's terrible?
I think he ain't got the sense God gave a dog to go look for this man because, like I said on the watch along, I'm not looking around the corner for mine. Like, I think it's just that age old mindset that most Black families have, where it's that thing of but it's your mother though,
Yeah.
but it's your father though, but they're family, but it's the only sister you have. I feel like no matter how horrific your family treats you, I can only speak from Black families because that's the family I was in. It's like no matter how horrible your parent treats you, it's always but that's your mother.
You only got one mama.
But you only got and I think he very much has that threaded in him. And I think no matter, like Ashley said, no matter how you have a parent that's on drugs, that's choosing drugs over you, for a lot of people, you still are going to love your parent. And it doesn't matter how much harm Montrose has done to him. He has his letter. His dad is missing. I think he wants to at least lay eyes on him, know he's okay, then probably walk away. But yeah, I think it's just that unfortunate invisible umbilical cord that kind of never severs for a lot of people, no matter how bad your parent is.
I ain't going around look for.
I'm not.
I'm just saying while we're here, I ain't going to look for nobody. Now, this little section here has nothing to do with nothing. I just wanted y'all to look at Jonathan. There is something about Jonathan in this show, and I just wanted it to be acknowledged. I just wanted to acknowledge Jonathan Majors, honey. I don't know what's happening over there in the Lovecraft streets or over there with Misha Green. But Jonathan was showing up here for me in a way that I needed him to, and I'm looking forward to watching all the episodes. Ashley, do you want to speak on Jonathan Majors showing up, doing what he needs to do, just looking how he's looking?
That's what I'm saying. a real man. A real man. Y'all saw how he opened that fire hydrant. He said, y'all not finna do my children like this on the streets. We finna play in the water in the middle of the street. That's a real man. The walk of determination that he had while he saw that man talking on that other man's microphone. He was on a mission and he's going to accomplish it every single time. I'm here for him. And I like that he's kind of withdrawn and brooding a little bit, but then when it comes down to it, he's going to stand on big business. Also, even this petite Jonathan, big find. This is when I think I first had my eye on Jonathan. It was back here. I think I seen some promo, and I said, "Who this man? he got a manly face.
Yes.
Like he want to pay bills and chop down trees and do all of the things."
You know how we feel about that.
Absolutely
He cuts grass. He cuts grass. He come in. Dinner's ready. It's on the table. It's just something. I am absolutely here, and I would never think that it would come a time, because I think this was more prevalent, depending on how old you are, especially if you're a millennial. The presence of just unambiguous African Americans that you saw on TV. It seems like it's like a scarcity at times recently to just see a black man with Afrocentric features on your TV. And I'm like, hey, Jonathan. Nothing, no splice to anybody, but Jonathan is here. Jonathan ain't from across the pond. It's a black man. Black. I ain't gonna say the other black, but black. Nikki, you want to speak on Jonathan?
Yeah, I will fight monsters for Tick. And I agree with you. It's very much seeing a lot of mixed black adjacent, black with a slim nose. Jonathan is a ninja. Okay, y'all know the word. Like he got the big nose, the nice dark skin, the lip. Jonathan Majors is a man on this show. Okay, a man. And I'm all the way here for it. Drooling, the whole show. And I feel like he has always had a lot of talent. That is undeniable. But I feel like this was the era where I was like, oh, like I'm in love with this man. Like this was the era of like, so he fine. So you're not just a good actor, but you fine too. Yeah, this was that era where I was really in love with Jonathan Majors, obsessively. Like he big fine in this.
I'm telling you, I saw him in that. No, I saw him in, like I said, the last black man in San Francisco. I saw him over there, and I was like, "Oh, he can act! Oh my goodness, he's oh, I can't wait to see him." I saw him here. I was like, "Oh, you fine! Hey, we ain't seen this under that suit jacket in the last black man in San Francisco." Oh, okay, come on outside. I'm just here for it. I just wanted to acknowledge how nice it is to see a black man. But moving on. All right, Jonathan, go on, run through them sprinklers. Okay. Okay, I wanted to stop here. I don't know where y'all hiding these 1950 shirts, okay? Whatever material, cotton blend, because this is every show. Soon as we go back to the 50s and 60s and y'all put these cotton blends on these black men, it just hits them differently. I don't know what kind of material or cut this is, but please put it on the shelves immediately. I just wanted to say that. It's nothing to do with nothing. Get some more of them shirts, okay?
Now, you ain't got the clip of him bathing. We ain't got that in here.
No. We not. I wasn't going that far. We not getting scandalous. We're not getting scandalous. We'll be here all the time watching water run down Jonathan's back. Okay.
Just a note. I will say he was also always very moisturized. His skin was always glistening and glowing. Good job.
Very, very, very.
Lips was never dry.
It was. Giving my civil rights husband. Yes. Yeah. But shattered kneecaps for the people. Well, let's get into Uncle George in this travel guide. Uncle George is very much so a father figure to Tick. You really, really see throughout this first episode how much he cares about him. Watching this that second time after we did the watch along, I was like, oh, you was really lacking Uncle George. We don't have time to be looking for you and waiting on you, bruh. But he kept going back. I'm not leaving Uncle George. In place where clearly Montrose was absolutely terrible to him, he always had guidance and some type of confidant in Uncle George. But the fact that I have shattered kneecaps here because he speaks on, like, I don't want my wife or anybody else to be out here getting into the travel guide, aka the green book, because I got my kneecap shattered for my people, and I'm trying to get this travel guide and this safe spaces for Negroes going to really protect us, so we know what we're walking into. But we can have all this bravado to do this for the people in the green book and the whatnot, but we couldn't even protect Tick. We couldn't even protect Tick. I was like, Uncle George, how did we go, here with the people, but we just couldn't bring ourselves to protect Tick? And I love how Uncle George is a good man Savannah for his time, for his era. He's a good man Savannah for his era, because this is trash behavior. Even when we get into Hippolyta, she want to go outside. I'm here. You come back with all your little statements, and I just write up the articles. I want to see some sites. I want to go and see things for myself. Don't you think the travel guide to be even better and in depth? Nah, you know what? That's just not your place. Not only am I trying to protect you, but your place is here with the baby. I need you to stay here. So there's that suppression there. And then we have a moment in this episode, Uncle George, of him lingering. What you lingering for? Lingering on a photo of Tick's mother. I was like, what? Why you lingering? Why is that in your wallet? You keep the closest thing to you in your wallet. Okay, sir. But between that and us having that moment of it's none of our business, when we have the incident with Leti and, hands being laid up on her, you didn't even protect me. Like, why didn't you do anything? We are justifying all of Montrose's shortcoming. He never wrote me. He never cared about me. He didn't. But yeah, remember, I stood around for all of, 3 hours. He just was waiting on me to at least bring you up so he could mention you. He cares. He loves you. You don't know what he's experienced. Like, the excuses, the generational trauma of it all that is about to come out. But yeah, I would just like to say Uncle George was trash also. Ashley, how you feeling about Uncle George?
When I saw him dry hunching and that lip quivering, I knew he couldn't be trusted.
No.
I mean, can we just tell the truth and shame the devil on today? I knew Uncle George couldn't be trusted, because how many people have you left hanging? He talks about, well, don't blame your daddy. I could have protected him more. I could have. You could have protected damn Tick. You could have protected Leti when her brother was beating the brakes off of her, or whatever was going on in that house. George is like I guess what do I want to say? Like a hologram, right? Like he's not truly good. I don't believe it in my heart. Like I said, when I saw that bottom lip quivering and he was dry, like I just knew it. Something is very despicable about him. I wouldn't be surprised if he has many skeletons in his closet. Honestly, he doesn't need to be doing the green book himself. I agree. Don't bring Hippolyta along, because you're going to get her unalived as well. The way that he laid and rolled down in that soil instead of getting up and running, he's a liability to me. I don't trust him. He's got worms. And yeah, I will not be surprised whatever comes out about him. I won't.
What you gonna do is leave the lip quiver alone, okay? I am here for the equal opportunity sex scenes in the show, the sex positive scenes in the show. You better let Hippolyta and old George get it in. I love that, because it shows, regardless, this is still a fruitful, loving, ambitious marriage, even though we're lingering at a photo. And you got to stay here with the baby, because I'm gonna go on the road. There's still passion there. I love the sex scene. I thought it was, and you can't even qualify that as the sex scene. It was just a lip quiver. You said no, and he had worms, and he had to go. Ashley, please.
I rewatched it today, Tyra, and it hit that same nasty bone. I didn't like it. I was disgusted, and it's not because he's old. It's because of the way that he didn't have a full mustache on the side, and the way that bottom lip was.
It's not supposed to be sexy to us.
Michelle.
Oh Lord, why you gotta put my Michelle on it, Ashley? Please don't. No, but you will peep in this moment where he says, my dad, there were some notations left in this letter about, but it's about birthrights and his mother's ancestry. He turns his back like, I wonder what's in that letter. What did Montrose say? You can clearly see that Uncle George is hiding something already in this first episode, but way to go for the sex, Uncle George. Nikki, how did you feel about Uncle George?
He's scandalous and I don't like him. He definitely, I thought it was very interesting. I remember when the show came out and it was some critics being like, the show is over the top with the racism. And it's like, no, the show is accurately displaying it. I feel like it's also accurately displaying the elder black men. Like he is definitely the poster child for all the elder blacks in my family. Like literally the whole like that ain't our business. The way he is with Hippolyte, like it's I be feeling like do we all just have the same? Because I got Uncle George in my family, literal. Like his name is Uncle George. I'm just like, do all black folk got the same folks in our family? But and that's what I meant also when you were talking about that picture where I said we got so much about the characters. It's definitely something going on. And then I kind of feel like, how was the picture in his wallet? Like his wife ain't never had to dig enough for $5 or nothing. Like, how do you have it? Like he don't have it hidden somewhere. It's in his wallet. It's definitely giving something, especially because we know that Michael K. Williams' dad, Montrose, is gay. So I'm like, did the mama really get pregnant by him? Was it the uncle? Something is up with the way the uncle was looking at that picture very fondly, like yeah. He was caressing the photo. He was caressing it. I feel like he really has no scruples. It's very odd to me when you have the people like Uncle George who I'm gonna fight for the people, but you won't even fight the small battle for the person that's literally next to you. Like it is
shattered kneecaps, Nikki.
It's so mind-boggling. Like you didn't have to get kneecap shattered just to help Tick or help Leti. Like I don't like him, but you know what? I'm not gonna go too hard on Miss Angela Bassett's husband, but he is not a good man, Savannah. He is not.
Because he was standing down for this travel guide this entire episode. Like, oh no, I gotta double check. We gotta make sure the people are safe. Like, you couldn't even protect your nephew.
Right.
But shout out to Hippolyta and Dee. I finally went and looked it up. I was like, what does Hippolyta? I want to know what that means. Hippolyta, and even the name of Dee's comic is Women in Greek Mythology. I was like, there you go, Misha. Always digging on. All right, me. I see you, girl. But yeah, these are representations of some really strong pushing it forward women in the Greek mythology realms, which explains, what we get from Hippolyta later, because she always been that girl, even with Dee. But yeah, all of this, he all on, let me drive the car, sit back, you don't, little girl, get us. No, this is not that, Uncle George. Sit down. I'm Letitia and Lewis. Get on my face. But he should have most definitely just oh Lord, if you don't do nothing, you're gonna justify your little pissy brother's behavior. Ruby, Leti in 2 nights, because you got 2 nights. Ruby said you got 2 nights. You have Leti just pop up kind of out of nowhere doing this block party, and you can tell she she's in search of a job and a place to stay. But the way that Ruby was just headstrong, it wasn't. She didn't give it a second thought. Like, I know you're here because you want something. You either need money or a place to stay. Clearly you do. Yeah, you have 2 nights and you got to figure out what you got to do. It's something in the water. if your big sister tell you have 2 nights. Now, when we watched it, I was like, oh, Ruby. Now, when I went back, I was like, no, Ruby, she got 2 nights. Yeah, give her 2 nights. Because just the way that she approached, and it was just kind of this entitlement to Leti. You could tell that this is kind of in the back and forth between their relationship, and Ruby clearly feels used. And even when she says like, ew, you're leaving there. So what happened to the other place? Like, that's a crappy, like, you don't even have anywhere to go. It's like, what happens? Like, no, something happened to the better place because I had to pay for mom's funeral by myself because you were nowhere to be found. Regardless of that, you got 2 nights. Nikki, why she got 2 nights, and was this okay? Because when she said, like, well, if you want to go do something better, you could go, I'm not cleaning no house. I'm not doing that. It's like, okay, you got 2 nights.
Look, I don't want to clean no house neither, so I'm with Leti. I think this is dead. We don't know much about Ruby yet, but I don't like Ruby. Ruben and Uncle George can go to the hot place. They can stay on over there because I live in a studio apartment, and I'd be damned if I'm not letting my little sister just come stay with me. Like that, I just like that. I don't care what the contention is. On soul food, look, we got with my sister boyfriend, and we was all able to come together. I don't see what Leti could have done to Ruby for her to be like. And missing her mom's funeral, the brother went in on her about that. That's why he yoked her up. Look, we can't really. She the baby of the family. She the youngest. She ain't show up to mama's funeral. Whatever. That's still your sister. It's some type of contention between them. I don't know what it is. Nah. Okay, I can't really fully cape for Leti because she does give like entitled light skinned woman, like very hard. But there is a contention. I do feel like, come on now, don't tell your sister she got, because 2 days, what's she gonna do in Jim Crow South if she got what to say in 2 days? Like, come on now, Ruby.
Well, I will say that Leti, even in this first episode, just gives off like the pure optimist. Like, she a little bit before her time, girl. If you want to go off and travel and be a flower child, you got to wait a little bit longer. But it's just like, well, yeah, in the meantime, in between time, baby, we have to live. We have to work. We have to go on. Sometimes, all of us have to make sacrifices. Why should you be no different? I can understand that. I'm just saying, for the sister to go, you got 2 nights. That means, baby, how long we've been doing this back and forth for me to give you this much pushback? And if you don't want to do it, go live with Marvin, old brother down there in the deep south who yoked you up. You can go there, because I'm not dealing with you and whatever this is this time. It just feels like a cycle that Ruby's sick of, and Ruby looked good in that blue dress. Ashley, you got 2 nights, and I ain't cleaning no house.
Yeah, I feel like this is nuanced, right? I feel like there's definitely some resentment here for whatever reason, and I don't think it's just about the mama. I don't. I feel like there were parts even in their performance where it's like, no, let me snatch the mic. You've probably been taking the spotlight for all this time. Like, let me shine. In addition to, I feel like Ruby is probably the one who bears the weight of all of the responsibility. I'd be really interested to see what the mother-daughter dynamic was between Leti and her mom, because it had to have been something awry for her not to show up to the funeral. So I hope we get to explore that more. But there's also, for me, on the side of Ruby, this air of judgment, because even she's like, that dress is a little short. You don't have any pantyhose? No, I get hot. Well, girl,
you can't afford them. Just say that.
You know what and I'm just like, okay, what is this? And then on the side of Leti, there is definitely an air of, I don't want to say superiority, but maybe just having an easier time of things in a lot of areas. But I actually like Letty's character. I think there's more to her than meets the eye, but she's definitely got a lot of pride and a lot of ego. So I'm curious. And it seems like she kind of banks on her beauty, right? Like, no, I don't have to do that. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to do that. Also, though, I do kind of question Ruby, because she also knows who her brother is, and so I'm wondering why she's quick to send her over there. That bothers me. I know that there's more that meets the eye. I'm excited to see what the roots of this relationship are all about.
I, for whatever reason, remember absolutely nothing with Ruby internally as to why she's like this. But just watching this first episode, Ruby, even the brother, his behavior, her not showing up, Leti not showing up to the funeral, it gives, once again, that generational trauma. We all got to ask, well, get over it. Mom did us all bad. I still stayed here. I took care of it. I held it down. Where were you? Like, get over it and grow up. We all got lashes. That's just the vibe I'm getting. I can't wait to see it. I can't believe I don't remember. I remember, certain stuff with Ruby, when we get into her partners and whatnot. I just don't remember what the beef was. So I can't wait for us to get into it. Shout out to the 95 people here. We are really, really happy to have you. I'm going to take a little break, a little pause for the cause. I want all 95 of y'all to hit that like button for us, and to also subscribe to a new person here if it's your first time seeing them, or subscribe to the person that you're underneath, because y'all be looking like, I've been over here for 2 years and I ain't never subscribed to your channel. Y'all be playing. We'll be right back. Thank you guys so much.
catch a flight, change the weather, and I promise forever. On my mind,
You muted, Tyra.
I was. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so much. But getting back into Leti, even though there is contingency in what looks to be extremely problematic between here and Ruby, as Ashley was saying, I really, really like Leti's character. I really like Leti's character in that she is, which is crazy because when I was getting into finding, I guess, criticisms for the show, people were really upset that they felt like Leti had less autonomy here and she was just Tick's love interest. I was like, I'm not feeling that this first episode, but this is just the first episode. Or I guess she maybe had a bigger story arc than what we get to see here. But regardless of that, like, Leti is everything. I really love how progressive Leti seems. And it seems like Ruby is maybe a little bit of the past. You hear them have that argument about the department store, and do you think you're just gonna walk in there? I was like, well, she is on the fair side, Ruby. She probably could walk in the department store again. But that's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there. But it's like, you think things have changed that much to where we can just, be optimistic about owning a house, X, Y, and Z, or having this job in there. It's just like, yes, it's possible. Black women, Black men, things are changing. We are doing, different things every single time. Even in the way in the episode that she has to kind of check Uncle George, like, baby, this isn't that. You're not gonna little girl me. Or even when it comes to when we actually get into the swing of things and the fighting and the beasts and the monsters of it all, Leti was holding her own. And I feel like it's really rare for us to see that. You either get to be a damsel or a love interest, or you get to be just full on action and not have a love interest at all. You're just kind of one note. You never get like all three or all four in one. And I think Leti's character is really well rounded. Nikki, how'd you feel about Leti?
I love Leti. I was very surprised when you just said people were talking about she was only Tick's love interest. And like you said, this is just episode 1, but I don't see them starting like this with her in this episode and just regressing her to just his love interest. But I don't know. We haven't gotten there yet. But from what we have, our first initial meeting of Leti here, I love Leti. As someone who grew up watching horror 70s, 80s, I was always annoyed with the female character. Because she gonna be there to look pretty, to fall, to need somebody to save her. Leti was doing all kinds of moves in this episode, like on her own, had a mind of her own. I absolutely love, like you said, when she tell Uncle George, my name is not girl. Like, we're trying to actively run from these white people trying to kill us, and she got time to check Uncle George. Like, I love that. I love Leti. I love when that punk cop wanted to send the woman out and Tick and went, but she like, nah, I'm scared. But like, I'm gonna go do it, and I love Leti. I have a lot of fun with her. I hope they don't make me regret my words because, like we already said, she does give a little I just really hope she's not going to be that stereotypical light-skinned woman, and y'all know what I mean.
No, don't say that. Naturally, with this show and themes and Ruby, and we're going to get into some colorism. We have to.
But I'm just like, please don't turn her into that. Like, I'm just like, but from the Leti we see right now, I really like Leti. And I feel like I think she comes off like she's in the wrong time. Like, she's too ahead of the time. Like you said, the attitude she seems to have, the type of woman she seems to want to be. It feels like, well, you're not in that time yet. You're pretty stifled with what you can do, not only because you're Black, but also because you're a woman. But I like Leti, and I can't wait to see what else she has going on. It truly feels like, and I love it. Uncle George is the one seeing like the damsel in distress. Okay, Uncle George is the damsel in distress. I love how when the monsters come, Tick and Leti don't miss a beat. They take off running. Uncle George did what every Black person say when they be watching a horror movie with white people. Oh, that wouldn't be us. It was us. It was Uncle George. He stayed laying down there like he was frozen in time. But yeah, love Leti.
Not frozen in time. Ashley, what about you? How do you feel about Letitia effing Lewis?
Yeah, give me some complexity. I like it. I like that she is a girly girl. I like that she's gonna have her hair done, her nails done, and a red lip. But she's got good sense. She's not making dumb moves when it comes to these really intense, uncomfortable situations. I like a lady who is cool under pressure and speaks up and knows her damn mind. Like the way she walks into that Whites Only Pies diner and is like, "I run this." I mean, even though it was a little bit delulu, I was absolutely here for it because show them. And the way she went and peeped and was like, come on, get in the car now. Don't ask me no questions. I got the car pulled up to the door already while y'all are still sitting here. I like a forward thinking woman. So at this point, Letty's my girl in a bag of pearls. I just hope she doesn't have like a major character flaw. That's my only thing. Don't be just a heinous demon, Letty. That's the one thing I don't need you to be. Okay. Don't play in Tick's face. All right. And don't be a heinous demon. That's all I'm going to say.
Is it just me? I'm here for a heinous character flaw. Like I like an unlikable character if they are written well. Like the character you love to hate. I like the complexity of everybody. So far, nobody here is perfect. Everybody here is an imperfect person. I'm absolutely here for her wardrobe. Let's get into that. I'm here for the wardrobe and the looks. Like Ashley said, the red lip, but they are eating down with Letty's looks in just this first episode, and I can't wait to see the rest of them. But yeah, when she said, get your ass up, get your asses up. Sitting here having a kiki. Now, I just wanted to acknowledge this scene, not just for the get your asses up, but um Uncle George is stopping here because as far as his travel guide was concerned, this was a safe place for them to stop. This was a diner that was owned by a black woman. But by the time they make it here, as you see with incidents like Toasters and Rosewoods, they burn down things and reclaim them for their own. And you have Tick have that revelation of, what happened with the White House and then the slaves they had to repaint it white because of like, oh yeah, this is that same scenario. We need to get our asses up and get the hell out of here. This is no longer a safe travel guide option. But Nikki, how did you feel about the high speed chase of it all, and really us getting our first notes of not only Luke and Letitia driving that car, but I think this is when we get our first real supernatural element above the intro of the show when we have this car, this silver bullet of a car that's been following Tick this entire time, and it was told that Montrose left in this car, like defy gravity and saved them.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in what's going on with that. But I love, one thing that you love with a horror or a thriller is like a suspense, it's like a tension. And I love how we can get that tension with just the monstrous white folk. Like before we even get to I love when we're just in a diner and the way that they are so unaware of their surroundings is literally mind-boggling. I'm saying like y'all ain't noticed everybody disappeared. And I love when they like pull up the little, what is that, linoleum? Is it called linoleum on the floor? To see like, wait a minute.
Up in here.
Like when they revealed that and like that, I love Let It Run. Get your asses. Like I love her running through that. It was all done so well. And when we get in that car and the damn thugs is chasing us, the white thugs is chasing us and shoot. I love Baby was busting back at them, but he can't shoot because I said, baby, you ain't gonna hit a tail light, a headlight, or nothing. Like you just shoot in air. But it was so good. And even throwing in when we're trying to get out of town and we think we, got past this situation and then it's the cop and then I feel like they did so well where we kept building like this tension, this momentum. Then you think you're breathing a sigh of relief and then it's something else until it all accumulates and it's the literal monsters that we come across. I love this. I thought it was great. And I love how they weave in certain details that maybe this diner per se isn't real, but still historically accurate. Like you said, the way it would be a black establishment, a black little town mecca, black dentist, and then the white people come in, burn it down, take it over. Doing that with this scene and that also tells you the necessity of the Green Book and the necessity of what Uncle George is doing because, okay, we were told this place is safe, but how often we got to update this Green Book because it's safe then and it ain't safe now. I feel like it just wove so much in really well.
Ashley, get your ass up. We gotta get the fuck out of here. Where you?
Because the way little buddy hopped on the phone and was like, "They're here." No, I didn't serve them, but you better get here fast. I was like, "What in the world?" But what I really, really enjoy, y'all know, I love a compelling story. Tell me a story, honey. Put me to sleep with the story. I love it, and that's what they did. But even if you look at the very beginning, where he's going to look for Montrose at a bar called Denmark Vesey, which is all about a man from South Carolina who led an uprising. Then, as we're driving through these little towns, we're hearing James Baldwin talk about your perception is your reality. The state that you're in determines your reality. And then we're embarking on this journey like, what is this going to be? Then, of course, we see, I know a demon when I see one. Okay, she might have been a white savior in the moment, but that is a demon with that red hat and that black
Oh,
on with
absolutely.
the dark
Red
around
is.
the eye. Oh, baby, I know we're gonna see her again, because yeah, and she's gonna want blood. She's gonna want a soul for payment or something. This is nothing as it appears. And again,
Oh
it's about
Lord.
what your reality is, because what are we really seeing right now? And I also just want to say, after a high-speed chase, when you're in clearly these sundown, you're not in just a sundown town, you're in a sunlight town, because they don't want any colors there, period. Clearly. But then after that, you guys take a leisurely stroll into the woods where you're taking a hard left, you're looking off into the forest, car rolls up. Okay, we're in the 50s, 60s. Y'all know cars were loud. There's no way I'm looking over here and don't see, hear, or feel anything. I don't know how we come out of this high speed 50-mile chase, right? 50 miles per hour chase, and then just act like we're oblivious to the rest of the world. I need everybody to get some situational awareness, just like our girl Leti has. But yeah, this demon, I don't know what her motive is, but they only saved them to sacrifice them or something. I don't trust them. She gonna have them on the barbecue grill. It's gonna be some weird ish. I can feel it in my spirit.
This didn't surprise me. This go around. This is one of the few things I really remember from this first time, because the first time we watched it, when she got out of the car, I was like, "What the heck?" I did not expect her to get out that car. The episode does a really good job at like staking, like giving really good tension and pouring it into the scene. You just really don't know what to expect. I remember when this heifer got out the car them years ago. I was like, "What?" I was really, really surprised. But I did want to notate this because I think it's so important, because it seems to be lacking. Make chemistry great again, please. Please. It's instantaneous. We ain't have to wait 25 episodes in to get it. We're not questioning, will they or won't they? Do they really? It's just instant. Like, I don't know if people aren't doing like screen readings and testings or whatever together, but I just love how effortlessly they have instant chemistry. Not just them, the whole cast, but for what is going to eventually be a love interest. I was like, yes, yes. Y'all ain't got to speak on this. I just wanted to say that.
I do, because one thing about it, Jurnee gonna have steam heat. See, I don't know if it's because of the leading men that she gets, because over there at Underground with Aldous, baby, that was steam heat. That was steam heat on the stove, in the oven, on the grill. I want it. Over there with Nate Parker, great debaters. That's steam heat too, baby.
Steam heat, girl. That was young steam heat too.
Listen, and over here, we ain't seen it yet. We ain't seen the fulfillment, but I can see it in my mind's eye, and I can't wait. I can't wait. Give her the business, Tick. Go on and give it to her.
Not give her the business. It's just, that's what I'm saying. It's supposed to be effortless. And you see these people in these scenes now together. It's like, where is the chemistry? It's lacking hard as hell. This is sexual healing if I ever said it. And it's tasty. It tastes real, real good. Now, like you guys were saying, getting into these real monsters, the minute that menace rolled up, you already knew what that man wanted. But I do like the not only the tensions being high because this is a sundown situation, but we have us they have the audience questioning like, who's the real monster exactly? Because you can't tell me that these people are monsters. Even the way, I don't know if we did anything to this man makeup wise or if that's just his average face, but he looks demonic already. He looks evil. He looks to have ill intent already. But like Ashley said, we here taking a leisure stroll. The way I want to take this man out immediately. What we waiting for? We ain't nobody around. Take him out now. It's 3 against 1. Take him out, because you could already tell with the approach that he had a mission, and it didn't matter if you were out of this sundown town by a certain time. Of course, we know this now with a second watch from years removed. But I remember how high the tensions were. And then when they finally made it, I was like, whoo, yes, we made it. And then you see that line of kind of like, oh, we ain't make it nowhere. This is trash. It just, it upsets you because you really want them to make it out of this situation. But you're instantly not only questioning who the real monsters are, but it's also like not only do we have to deal with the likes of this, but we actually have real life monsters on our ass now. Nikki, how are you when we finally got to the HP Lovecraft of it all and we have these monsters start to pop out? Where did you go? Because I was here for all of it.
Yeah, for me, it wasn't a question of who's the real monster. For me, it was they all monsters, like different forms of monsters. And I agree with you because I remember we was watching the episode and Ashley said, well, is he going to turn? I felt like he was already looking real weird. Like, I thought he was the father of them. Like, I was like, it is something. I'm sorry to that man. I don't know, like you said, if that's his face or if they did something in the makeup chair. Yeah, he looked weird. He looked demonic. Even and also going back to the white, like anytime it's a mysterious white woman, she up to no good. It's something sinister happening. I was also, and I agree with Ashley. Cars today be real silent. I be walking my dog. I be about to get hit because I don't even hear the car. Them cars back then was loud as they was crumbling, making all sound like rocks was in the engine. Them cars was loud. And I'm like, for y'all to be Negroes in this time, y'all are very unaware of your surroundings. Like, it's crazy. But when we actually get to the monsters, this is what I mean when I say write Misha Green a blank check. All the money was well spent. I mean, visually, the monsters, the way that arm got severed and plopped down on the ground, like all of it was pristine. It was so good. I thought it was great. I thought the creature design was immaculate. And as somebody, like, I love a creature feature. I love a really great creature design. And I feel like it's actually hard to come by. It's amazing. All them freaky eyes, wasn't them a bunch of eyes all over the back of them? It was glorious. It was amazing. It was bloody. It was gory. I was getting my 5-year-old life because the little 5-year-old in me that was obsessed with gore and blood. It was amazing. I thought this was actually, and it's like, I wish monsters were real because I wish the racists was getting beat up by monsters in the forest back then. And that's why I thought this was a great mix of, as much as I hate seeing stories with racism, it's a great mix of the real life horror, because the real life horror that they would have had to survive if we didn't have the Lovecraft part was the white people literally was finna kill them in them woods. That's what we would have had to survive, but we end up having to survive the actual monstrosities, not the human monsters. I thought it was amazing. And man, the white people showed their ass and showed their colors because they were scared. They had no kind of spine, no kind of backbone, wanted to send a little skinny girl out there. But yeah, I thought this was amazing. Write Misha Green a blank check. Yeah, let her yell at everybody on the set.
Not let her yell. You know how we feel about horror and just the practical effects of it all. Like, it's really hard now for whatever reason for people to get just the right measurement of practical effects to CGI and get that ratio where it almost looks a little seamless. And even when you do recognize it, it doesn't take you out of the moment. It's still really consistent. It was so good. I was like, damn. And then it is so nice to have a show not skip on the blood. Bleed these folks. This is what we're here for. We love to see people die. What are we doing? I don't need you to cut away. I don't need, we love it. Like that slow transformation that this despicable sheriff goes through. And it's just all the while turning. You still find time to be racist. Incredible. Still find time to be greedy and just be self-loathing. Incredible. But I just was here for it. Even in this little brief moment, you still have Tick trying to protect Leti. I was like, yes, protect him. Because the way Uncle George told you to mind your business, we ain't doing this right now. When the man was like, I'm sending her. He's like, oh, well, my damn dead body. You ain't sending her out there. But it was, up to her to go, no, I was, I was running track. I got this. I'm scared, but I got this. The way Leti was running, it was just everything. Like, just Lord, it was just done so well. And then I was like, this is really a show. This ain't even a movie. This is a pilot of a TV show. Insane. Give it a blank check, like Nikki said.
And you notice Uncle George ain't say nothing when the cop said send Leti out. You notice how trash he is, right?
Uncle George, as long as you don't see me, I got bad knees. I got shattered kneecaps. No, no. Ashley, were you here for the real monsters and the carnage? I know your delicate sensibilities, but were you here for the special effects and the blood of it all?
Girl, you know that don't move me. That's all lost on me. But it was jump scare. I was scared. I'm clutching my pearls, my house coat, everything when that happens. But what I really, really liked about it narratively, I am here when we get a physical manifestation of the demon that we're seeing on the left. Right, we're seeing these races that are about to unalive these Black folks in the woods, met by their innermost parts. Right, personify, and I loved everything about it because get them. And then when the light comes, you know what I mean? I felt like that was truth, that was justice, that was all of the things. The light, the fire, everything is going to run the monsters into the hole. I actually thought it was stunning piece of storytelling, but they can cut away every time for me. I don't need to see the limbs rocked or moved. I don't personally need to see that. And I'm also here for the morphing of it all because how many people have these creatures turned? Like, I'm interested now in the lore of it all because where did they come from? They have a master because someone whistled them away. I want to know who controls these things, where they came from, clearly from hell, but who's dominating them and what's their lore? It gave me more questions, but in a good way. And again, I just think this is artful storytelling, right? If you couldn't imagine the heinous acts of these white officers, you see these monsters in a juxtaposition to that, and you're like, oh, this is what that really looks like. And I think it's artful. I thought it was great.
It was. It was nice to see them in fear. It was nice to see them terrified, quaking in their boots. I was absolutely here for it. Like, Lady said her little prayer. She's like, all right, okay, I'm going outside. And she was gone. I was like, yes, Letty, run. I was, we knew she was, and I'm like, I'm watching this. If y'all haven't seen the watch along, we yelling like we haven't seen. It's like, yeah, girl, yeah. It just really pulls you in. And even when it kind of feels like there's no hope, like Ashley said, the whistle's blown. You can see someone consistently throughout this episode trying to protect them. But who is it?
I think it's that white lady.
Since when are the whites trying to protect anybody? And if they are back then, why? But we wind up here. The wagon is totaled. the wagon is out of here. And the entire trip was supposed to consist of course, not just seeking out Montrose, but seeking out that letter. We're trying to get to Artem and this birthright and getting into the mom's ancestry. That leads us to this home. But, not just any home. Not only do we have the silver bullet in the front yard, but a white man answers the door and says, welcome home. Excuse me? I'm walking away immediately, okay? I'm leaving. What you mean, welcome home? You don't know me. you don't know me. But it's just like, are you serious? Where do we kind of go from here? But as bloody and worn out as they are, hey, brother, how you doing, sir? He opens the door and says, welcome home. Nikki, what's happening?
This man opened the door looking like Spike from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I would have ran for the hills. Like, he literally looks undead. Like, he looks like the living dead. He looks like a vampire. Anytime white folk involved in a story, like, it's sinister. It gotta be like, I don't trust none of them. I don't trust him. I don't trust the white lady. Like you said, we saw the car out front. That whistle, I just feel like them freaky triple-eyed monster dogs. It's all connected to this. I don't know. And I don't know. Do we believe that letter really came from his dad? I just don't trust anything at this point. Like, I don't trust anything at all. I don't trust these white. And I still don't understand why we was walking. You cannot tell me that car went. All we did was crash the car into the house.
Said it was total. We couldn't make it nowhere.
You could drive a car into that little shanky house like termites been eating at the wood for at least 10 years. That car should have been able to drive.
I mean, everything about the letter and what we even hear about Montrose does it, because it was something endearing about that letter. I went to discover more about your mother, and it's like, what? Yo, daddy, holes in the wall, sitting at the bar drinking. He wrote that. I think they just wanted to believe it so much, especially Tick, and they just also wanted to seek him out because they were worried about him. But everything about Montrose's character tells you he didn't write this, but here we are. Ashley, welcome home.
Yeah. So the guy with the white on white at the door, the white face, white hair, definitely remind. I don't know. Everyone's not a Rocky Horror Picture Show, but y'all know his little love boy in the. That's
Yes.
who that instantly reminded me of. And I said, "Oh Lord, we intern Rocky Horror damn picture show. We're gonna be on some freaky time in this Skull and Crossbones house." But Tyra, you were. It was interesting because last night you were like Arkham. Well, Tick actually says that when he's reading the letter, he thinks it's Arkham as well.
Yeah.
And I'm like, was that intentional? Like, did they say that out loud intentionally? Like, are we going to be in some sort of asylum where they're holding people against their will, like in the DC universe? I don't know. But yeah, this is all bad. They're, like I said, they're going to cook them for supper. I don't know if there's cannibalism or what, but whenever the white tees invite you in, like, welcome home, it means you're for dinner. You're for dinner or you're the help. It's one or the
You're
other.
the inner, you're the help. You're of some use. Especially now to 50s. No clean cut white stranger is welcoming you in with open arms. You showing up to the door blood drenched and dirty. Absolutely not the way I would have ran. But we're gonna probably get into why they're there looking like they're looking and being invited in that next episode. Before we give y'all our closing remarks and thoughts on how we're feeling moving into the next episode, every single Saturday, y'all, every Saturday night, if you are a member, we get into our members only watch along. This week is Ashley's choice, and this is what she picked. If you do want to be a part of it, be sure to become a member and join our Discord and come have a good time with the collective. We'll be right back.
Recognize symmetry. Go up, try to injure me. Broke them down chemically. Ain't the number 10 MC. Talk about hopping IB. Styled it like Kennedy. Late like a 10 to 3. When I be, girl, save and I keep. Cause it's the 10 to be. Way out like Tennessee. Take me to a waste on the BK without pause or delay. Get run like pin relay. Don't deal with he see, she say. Ain't working for no cheap pay. The most that beat play. This is what the streets say. Hey, Mr. DJ. Play that devil again. That jam got me open. Decide to break it broken. From front, side to side, middle to back. Never the whack. I come from best style black. From Louis Savvy Eden.
You better dance, Sterling. if you guys want to watch American Fiction with us this Saturday night, be sure to become a member. We would love to have you. Closing it out here, since some of us have seen it and some of us haven't. Nikki, I'm going to come to you first. Who's your favorite character so far, and why? And what are you anticipating the most getting into the next episode?
I did see the show when it aired. This was my first time watching it again, so I do not remember anything at all. Literally nothing. But so far, look. Go. I'm going up for the woman. Like, that's my favorite character so far. That run is iconic. Tom Hanks and Forrest Gump. You just got knocked out the number one spot for the iconic run. It has to go to Miss Jurnee as led. That run was just iconic. It just really was. Like, that's what we want to see when you watch a horror and you be so aggravated that the person falling and keep looking back. Like, she was getting it. She was bucking. Okay. And I feel like it might be a lot more layers to her, a lot more. I think Ashley said a lot more nuance to her character. I'm okay with some character flaws, but please just don't make it like something where I'm gonna have to want to strangle her. But she's my favorite so far. And it's like I'm anticipating most really. I want to get to Michael K. Williams. I don't want that man acts down. That is a thespian. Okay, rest in peace to Michael K. Williams. I cannot wait to see him on my screen. I miss him on my screen. I absolutely adored him in this show. He made me cry when I was watching the show the first time around. Like, I can't wait to see him. That's what I'm anticipating. But honestly, it's like I'm anticipating, but y'all know I don't do well with the racism. Like, I'm not ready to see what they got in store for these poor black folks in this Jim Crow era time. So I'm gonna be dreading that because that hurts my soul. And I'm anticipating some more. I hope we get some more monsters because that gets my life. Okay, that gets my life. That's why I can never end up actually really into the horror girl club because you gotta love the blood and the monsters and I can't wait.
Who
I
made
want to see
you
some
the
more bodies
ruler?
drop.
Who made you ruler of the horror initiation crew, Nikki?
Lord himself, God
Lord
Almighty.
Farquaad, your turn is over. Ashley, who's your favorite character and why? And what are you most anticipating with the show?
I really stand Letty, but she's going to come in a close second to Atticus Freeman because I feel like this black man is going to black man, and that's what I need. That's what the world is missing representation on. We need to see a strong black man, lead and be a protector and a purveyor of truth. I hope he is a great hero in this. That's my desire for him. So I'm gonna stick beside you. I'm gonna stick beside you, Tick. Don't play in my face, all right? Because next week it can change, all right? I just want you to know that, Atticus. But anticipation, I want to know the lore of it all. I want to meet Montrose. I want to see what's going on with him because it has to be hard because Nikki already said that he was homosexual. So I'm trying to see how that relates in that in that era and if Tick is aware of it. I'm really interested in the family dynamics of it all. So I'm hoping that I get to see more of that in the next episode. And then of course, who are these whites and why are they helping you? So yeah, that's what I'm anticipating for next episode.
Well, my favorite character for now is absolutely Letty. It's Letty. Letty has smoke. Okay, Letty was gone. Letty was doing what she needed to do. As soon as she said, "Get y'all ass up and get the fuck out of here," that's all that was needed to be said in the episode. It's the best moment in the episode for me. So it's absolutely Letty because she was showing up and not just strictly being a love interest. Extremely useful, and I can't wait to see what else she does because I really don't remember. But from what I do remember, I'm not going to ruin it. But I want to get into Ruby's swap. I am anticipating
What
Ruby's.
swap?
I can't say it because I want to do. I want to ruin it for everybody. I want to get into Ruby's swap to see if I feel the same way about it now than I felt watching it back then. Because I'm having so many visual things that I can't really fully connect in the way that I want to because I don't know all the nuances of what happened in the show for us to even get there to the swap. I want to get there. I don't know what episode that is. I don't know when that happens, or I want to get there to see how I feel about it if I'm going to be laying down the judgment. I want to get over there. But yeah, it's so much to anticipate here. Of course, with the following episode, I want to get into why we opened this door and said welcome home. And see what was happening with that and how much of this is really a birthright and ancestry and is this really connected to his mother in the way that it was displayed in the letter. If whether or not it's from Montrose, it could have said anything. We're talking about birthrights and ancestry here with the Watts. Long line of ancestry. Okay, all right. Let's see how far that goes and if it was that true. But that's what I'm anticipating getting into the most. I am going to take this out of here and show you guys some love one more time before we get to telling y'all what we got to do because we officially have 100 people in the first live, which is always great. Always great. We love to see 100 people. Hopefully, we get to see 100 more. Y'all hit that like button, please. We are very, very happy to have you here. Do know if this is your first time here, we will be here every single Tuesday doing a watch along for this show of the the most recent episode, and the following day, today we will be getting into a discussion of the episode that we did the watch along for. So be sure to show up Tuesday and Wednesday to get into all things Lovecraft Country, and we appreciate y'all. We gonna be right back. Let me hit y'all with this Black history.
And I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all. I'm blickety black, blacker than black, I'm blacker than black, yo, because I'm black and I'm back. Yo, I'm black and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blacker than black, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm blickety black, 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 y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, 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 y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm black, y'all, and I'm.
All right, coming back here, as you guys can see, Tomorrow, we will be getting into Daughters of the Dust. We are into week 3 of our Black History Month, so be sure to support us there. It is an open watch along for anybody who wants to join, especially if you want to get over there in the Discord. We will be watching Daughters of the Dust and really reflecting on that tomorrow. But yeah, thank you, and shout out to the 100 people that are still currently here. Nikki, anything that you want to promote before we get out of here?
Yes. What day? Oh, you made me big. Okay. Yes, over on A Night of Horror, I have something coming up with Sister Girl on film on what day? On the 22nd. I don't know what day that is. The 22nd, though. We will be watching the to-be original movie Thought of Murder, okay? And playing a drinking game. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of chaos and craziness. So come on over, watch us as we watch that and drink and do all that craziness, because it's the Thought of Murder. It's of course going to be a masterpiece. And then Sunday evening, Sunday 6:30 p.m. Central, I have my KillerCon live horror panel. Miss Tyra will be there as well as some other panelists, and we will be discussing political horror, if politics should stay out of horror, etc., etc. So join us for that. And of course, every Tuesday and Wednesday, I will be with Tyra and the Sweet Perspective, watching Lovecraft Country and then discussing it on Wednesday. And besides that, I ain't got no. Oh yeah, I do have something else going on. I started a Discord. Yeah, I'm always late, but I'm always on time, just like Jesus. Okay. So I started a Discord. The link is pinned in the chat, so please come on over there. And thank you, Tyra and My Sweet Perspective, for finally having me over, because y'all know I had to bed borrow and still.
All right, mute her down. She's finished. I'm not playing with her. Ashley, anything you want to say to the people as far as what you have coming up on your channel?
Yeah, you guys, be on the lookout for the Paradise mid-season recap or whatever up through episode 6. I'm finally caught up, so be looking for that dropping tomorrow. I did drop my quick thoughts on Married at First Sight's episode. I will drop the full video tomorrow. And then don't forget, Saturday we have Severance in addition to the watch along. And please just make sure you're subscribed to everyone on the panel. Make sure you have the notification bell hit so you don't miss a thing. And be on the lookout for some new and exciting things. Oh, Friday. In honor of being retrospective, we're being equal opportunity and we're going down the reality rabbit hole. We will be watching together episodes 1 and 2, season 1, Flavor of Love, Friday night. So be there or be square, because we finna cut up. Just be there.
I don't know how to feel about it. So I don't know why I'm nervous to watch Flavor of Love. I really don't remember none of that. I can barely remember Lovecraft. This was just, at least 4 or 5 years ago. All right, we're gonna be over there. I hope y'all get y'all life. But yes, those are all the things that we have coming up. As far as myself, with the Dangerous video and go support it and run it up, y'all, until I drop my next one. I would really, we love a good Dorothy Dandridge moment, and I wanted to talk about her during this Black History Month. So if you could go and run that up, I would really appreciate that. But yes, we are going to get out of here. Remember to engage with us tomorrow for the Daughters of the Dust watch along, and join the Discord to participate, and also join Nikki's Discord, because she late, but she gonna be there on her own time. We will see you guys tomorrow. Everybody have a good night.
We had our downs, but we had way more ups. Let's make love. That be the reason that you always hit me up.